Yes, please. I forgot to say.
Yeah, so the end state that I want is the Web IDE Web Terminal on GitLab.com. And as far as I understand it, the current limitations are that shared runners do not support the web terminal. So like shared runners are out. And then for private runners, your options become either Kubernetes or Docker in theory also supports the terminal. And those need to be private runners attached to a project. I tried the Docker runner and I attached it to a project and couldn't make it work. So I'm not sure if that's actually possible. I also tried, I should caveat the Kubernetes one, that you cannot use the GitLab Helm chart install of Kubernetes runners because that does not support it either. So I tried like a Google Cloud account, did our Helm chart install just to double check that. That also does not work. Which puts us back to like private runners that I'm probably just going to run locally. Seems like the easiest way to do this.
Yes, for sure. And we can start working with the Docker executor first, and then we can, like, when we get that running, we can move on to the Kubernetes one if you want.
But Steve, is the terminal supported by Docker? I mean, after yesterday, yes.
So Docker only supports as long as like the first command runs, and the reason for this is the goal of the web terminal stuff was inside of the CI job context. It wasn't inside of the Web IDE stuff. So ideally for the Web IDE, it's just the container, just Kubernetes ideally. So if we want to go ahead with just Kubernetes first, I'm all for it.
I think I'm okay. So if it's not, so it sounds like the Docker one, while it in theory could work, is probably not the best choice because it's going to close. Like, and I think what happens is it closes the connection right after it runs whatever the first command is.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so then it sounds like really the only like good supported path is Kubernetes. Okay. Well,
for
then let's just...
the Web IDE stuff, yes, because then the Kubernetes stuff supports the proxy services as well that Fran worked a few months back, where you can have like the file mirroring going on and all that stuff.
So is the file mirroring, that's only available with Kubernetes? It doesn't work on Docker. Oh. Should like caveat these docs even more. I think they need like. Okay, file mirroring only available with Kubernetes. Limitations. Okay, then yeah, we should just go with Kubernetes. I think that makes sense. And like, I'm assuming the easy way is like run something locally and attach a private runner locally, or is it easier to do this in like?
That is the easiest way, yes.
And that's because the Helm chart stuff doesn't work.
Yes, the Helm chart doesn't work, and basically on GKE and things like that, they use self-signed certificates. And when we try to create a WebSocket on a secure connection, we get a 509 unknown issue verifier thing for the certificate. So it's best locally. There are ways to get around it on GKE, but I don't think we have it documented anywhere or anything like that. So unfortunately not. So ideally for you just to get started, so you get comfortable with the Web IDE terminal, is having everything local. And the reason for this as well, everything is going over the network, right? So if everything is local, it's much smoother overall.
Okay. Cool. What would be the best way to do this?
Okay. So do you have GitLab Runner installed locally?
Yes.
Do you have Minikube installed locally by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Then we can get started with that. If you can share your screen.
Yeah. I'll just share the entirety of. I'll just share this, and if we need to switch it back to like an entire monitor, we can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
So, did you register any runner so far?
No, I haven't done. No, the only runner I registered was a Docker runner version.
Okay,
So I've got
so let's register a new one.
Okay, how do I do that?
So, do you have? How did you install GitLab Runner?
Through Homebrew. I'm going to reshare this entire screen.
So do a GitLab Runner register.
Kai, can you increase the font size a little bit?
Is that better?
Nice, better.
Now, if you before I tell you what's next, if we shouldn't upload this video to public because you're gonna end up sharing some tokens. If that's okay with you.
Oh,
it has to be private unless you want to stop sharing your screen and I'll show you where to go.
Because you want me to go get the runner token out of here. Can't I reset the token after I do it? So I can
you can do that as well if you want.
Yeah, we'll just do it and then I'll reset the tokens.
Okay. So go to, why don't you have the CI/CD settings?
Yeah, why don't I on my terrible test project?
What? Do you have CI/CD disabled?
Oh, I do, because I disabled it.
Okay.
Yes, I was testing something else. This is my catch-all project that CI/CD, no, settings, CI/CD.
So if you expand the runners section, scroll down, copy the URL. And copy the token. Give it a name, give it like Kubernetes terminal if you want, or anything. Presenter, you don't need any tags for it. And type in Kubernetes here. Enter. Now, if you do a cat space home, like the tilde character, dot GitLab runner, config.toml. Yeah, and now we can see the runner registered here, right? So we have the name, the URL, the token that we're using, executor Kubernetes, and then some Kubernetes specific configuration. Now, do you have Minikube started?
No.
Let's start Minikube.
That's my password.
Steve, for GitLab.com, do we need to redirect ports to the runner or not?
Oh, yes. Oh, damn, you are right. Because GitLab needs to contact GitLab runner. So this will not work. I forgot about that part.
Why won't this part? Why? So wait, this won't work because of.
So the way it works is GitLab.com needs to contact your local computer, right?
Right.
And this will not work unless you expose your computer to the internet, which is not ideal. God damn it, I forgot about this part.
Okay, so that's even more interesting than that. So you couldn't even do this with local runners then?
Yes, you can, but you have to redirect some ports to your machine.
Yeah, so like people do it by having their VM, like a VM exposed, and GitLab.com can contact their VM.
What ports need to be open?
You define the port that you want in the config.toml file.
So local limitation.
But this is the same limitation we would have for attaching local runners to the, not because of the Web IDE terminal.
So in general, running like local runners and attaching them to GitLab.com would require.
No,
exactly.
GitLab runner, the model behind GitLab runner is GitLab runner asks GitLab what to do, right? It's always been like that. So GitLab runner only needs access to GitLab.com. GitLab itself, so GitLab.com, does not know anything about the runner, where it is, where it's located, so on and so forth. And it did not used to contact it at all. But with the web terminal stuff, we complicated the architecture a bit more, where GitLab runner gives the information to Rails saying, if you want to start a web terminal, you have to contact me on this address, for example. And that's what we need to expose. So for example, there are two configuration files where you put the advertising address, we call it, where you're telling GitLab.com, hey, when you want to use the terminal, contact me on this IP address or this domain name or whatever you want, and I'll proxy everything on my end. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So if I had a regular runner that I wanted to use, I could locally run runners, and that would be fine.
Yes.
If I wanted to interact with that runner through the terminal, I can't do that locally unless I open up a port.
Exactly.
Okay.
I thought you would need to redirect the ports no matter what if you use the
no, the runner talks to GitLab and it always
asks. Not the other way around. Okay.
Yeah, we only did it the other way around for the web terminal stuff because the web terminal is started from the GitLab side, and like we need to have a two-way communication for that. Do you have the JDK installed locally so you get a demo of it at least on the JDK, or?
I do. I'm curious, like, so if I go back to this, where would I specify in this?
So under the session server, if you go under there, you have the listen address and advertise address. And those are two different things. So the listen address is where we're going to start the web server. So for example, it can be localhost port 8080, for example. Okay. And that's where it's going to start the WebSocket server, where it's going to start listening to requests. And then there is the advertising address. So the advertising address is an optional field. It can be not set. And if it's not set, we will use the listening address as the advertise address. But the reason we have the advertise address is because you can have the listen address started on localhost port 8080, for example. And then you have the advertise address being like company.com/web terminals, right? And then you have like your HA proxy redirecting that traffic to the VM of the runner. So the advertise address is a way to tell, hey, GitLab, if you ever want to start a terminal with me, just go on this address and it will come to me and I will do all the proxying.
Okay.
It's documented in the runner docs if you want to get a better understanding of it. So if you go to runner doc.
Runner, what is it? What was it called? Advertising.
Go to runner, that one. And if you go to the session server section, that one.
Okay. Well, that feels fairly complicated then to do.
It is fairly complicated, yes.
And so on GitLab.com, then the web terminal, the other way to do that would be if I was running this like on Kubernetes on like Google Cloud, but not via our Helm chart if I just like installed it myself.
Exactly, and that's the limitation of the Helm chart, right? Because the Helm chart at the moment does not expose your runner to the world. So that's why the limitation of the Helm chart exists. That's the whole limitation of the Helm chart. Because for us, what we need to support Helm chart is having the Helm chart creating a service for the runner and exposing that service. So traffic that goes into Kubernetes is directed to the runner service, and then the runner can set up the WebSocket connection.
And there's like an MR open? Right?
Yes, a community contribution came in this week actually for it.
And is that going to add the support?
That's what it says on the print, but I haven't reviewed it yet, so I don't know.
Okay. So if it was if let's just say this MR fixes it, if I were to go and do a Helm chart install through like our one click, then the web terminal would start working as well. Then I'd be able to use the Web IDE Web Terminal, and then I wouldn't. This becomes all a fair bit easier.
Yes. Yes, I agree. Like right now, it's very, very complicated. It's a lot convoluted. You have to understand how the architecture works, and that's just because we haven't been working on it since we delivered it the first time.
Okay, and then that fixes the Helm chart problem. In theory, though, it's still like this feature is basically locked to like Kubernetes only.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you want the file sync, which I still don't know what the value of the terminal would be without the file sync yet, but maybe there's so. Okay, got it. So Kubernetes only. Okay, so sure, if we wanted to do this attached to GDK, I don't know if this is gonna work. Start, what is it now? Oh, wrong place. Let's try this. This is super far behind, I think. Okay. Sure. It's the wait.
So we would need to register the runner again to our local instance now. Yeah, it will take a while to start. Give it a second.
Should I unregister this runner?
If you want to, yes, that might be a good idea. Not to clutter your.
How do you deregister a runner?
Unregister and the name of the runner.
Oh, and the name of the runner.
Can you do GitLab runner unregister -- help? You can do minus all runners, and it will. You have to pass the -n flag. That's why. If you look at the help. Yeah, just do that.
Oh, if I was going to get, so we can just do that. Okay. How do I need to rotate the in here? Do I need to remove it here now?
No, it should be removed.
Oh, we never refreshed to see it here. This is a different runner. This is the Docker runner.
Yeah.
And then this token, I just reset.
Yeah, if you, yeah.
Okay. Close. All right. Okay.
You can either create a new test project or use the existing ones. That's up to you. And we can register either a shared runner or a runner to a specific project.
Let's do it on this. Actually, I should do a new project. Yeah, sure. I feel like my laptop's going to take off. All right. Is registering the runner is the same?
Yep.
Okay.
Just instead of passing in the GitLab.com URL, you pass in the localhost address. And there's another issue.
You can't do it over the IP.
No, it shouldn't be localhost. It should be over your local network IP address. Because this is the tricky part about Kubernetes, right? On Minikube, it's running on a VM, so it's not running on localhost, right?
Okay.
And so the container is inside of the VM. Now the container needs to contact your GitLab instance, but your GitLab instance is only bound to your localhost address, so it cannot really contact it. Does that make sense?
Yes, GitLab is running on, okay, so GitLab needs to be running on my local IP address?
Yes. Yeah, if you do ifconfig, you can get the Ethernet 0 192.168.244.1.
Yeah, let's see, where is it?
It's up there. I saw it. That one. Now,
Okay.
to do it in the JDK, go inside of the JDK directory, stop it. Now do an echo, double quotes.
Which one?
The double quotes to start a string. Yeah. Paste your IP address, close quotes, the greater than sign, host. And that's it. And now do a cat on the host file And now if you do a JDK reconfigure, it should update your,
The YAML?
yeah, the YAML file and all that stuff.
Oh no.
Oh, you're gonna have JDK issues with this.
Yeah, this is like, I was like, this is not up to date. So I was like, oh no.
Okay, we can update it manually. Well, no, because the other components wouldn't use the same address. Okay, okay.
Yeah, to run a JDK update and like, let's cross all our fingers.
This is why I don't run this ever, is I'm like, it comes up, I can test things, like close enough. Wait, what did we fail on?
Already a master.
Is it mad about runners?
It is mad about runners for some reason. It's inside the JDK one. So if you do open it up with Vim or something, it's GitLab-runner config.toml.1, yeah. Let's see why it's complaining.
It's my Docker runner.
You can either comment everything out, or you can update your JDK to ignore the runner. That's how I have it, because I have custom runners that I don't use in the JDK.
How do I update it to ignore the runner?
Let me check. There is a file that you need to give me a second. Do you have a jdk.yaml file created?
Mm-hmm.
Open it up and put this snippet here. I'm gonna send it to you over Slack. You have to run JDK update.
Oh. That's all right. But this should be interesting.
It seems like we have some validation problems on the runner config.
Oh, good. Now I have it updated. So what do we do with the web terminal from? What do you think?
Sorry, come again?
What do you think we do with this web terminal and the web IDE? You think we keep it around, or do we get rid of it?
We should at least do something with it. I mean, because it's very restricted at the moment, and there is a lot of pressure to do a lot of things with the Web IDE, but it depends on, or we rely on a more stable runner and way to run things. I mean, the file sync is only available when the Web IDE terminal is on, and now if we can only use Kubernetes, and with all these restrictions, we cannot add anything on top of it. So we can reserve some resources to improve the Web IDE terminal and work with the Web IDE terminal. On the runner side, I mean, not directly with the backend, but with the runner side. I mean, the same things we did in order to implement the file sync service.
Right.
To improve that part.
I would wonder even if it has to be in the runner. Like, to me, it feels like we're using the runner for the wrong thing, because the runner was meant to schedule something and run something, right? It wasn't meant to set up an infrastructure, web services, and proxy, all this stuff, because it does seem like we're reaching above the runner limitation, and that's why we have so many problems, because the runner wasn't designed like this, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good point. I mean, we have a lot of faith and a lot of pressure to implement things like the LinkedIn thing or
I think the reason like these things get bound to the runner is not because of like it's available, right? Like otherwise I've got to somehow convince someone to attach compute in a different way that's like not bundled out of the box to GitLab, and like that in itself is a barrier and kind of goes against the default to on. So I think that's why like historically the Web IDE got pushed this way. I don't know how we have any usage of the web terminal. I think actually the queries that we're running that say we have like 60 or 70,000 minutes are wrong. Like there's no way we got 70,000 minutes of usage.
But you have to remember, like the goal behind the web terminal, anyways, the way I know it was only a way to have a debug environment for the CI job. And then we extended it for the Web IDE stuff. Because we had,
I mean, the Web IDE's co-opting usage of it is like, I think not necessarily the right,
exactly,
the right way to have gone about that. But the reason I think it was done was because it existed as attached compute, right? Like we've got to attach compute in some way. I wonder, you know, the local communication thing is interesting because like I had thought like, well, what if you could run some of this stuff locally and then we could just report back to the Web IDE, but then we're going to get back in the same business of like needing to expose ports and route that correctly. So like that's an interesting like limitation to run across even here to think about like other things.
Because there needs to be two-way communication, right? GitLab needs to send data and we need to send data to GitLab.
Yeah. And then, you know, I don't know. I mean, like we could build our own non-GitLab runner based Docker images that run in someone's Kubernetes cluster. But like to what end, like then I feel like we're in the business of like the runner, but different in some way. Are we just?
Yeah, I do get that. I do understand that as well. Like I was thinking about this a few days back, like why did we actually go ahead with the runner for the Web IDE and things like that? That's when you pinged me about the linting issue. Like, yes, the runner is an orchestrator. It will create pods for you and it will create containers and it will configure those containers. But it's meant to run something on those containers, not keep them up and available for you for a specific set of duration, right? And like, even like we're creating a job behind the scenes that's kind of indefinite until you close your session, which is also another hack. So yeah, I do feel like there should be a separate tool that will orchestrate your containers and pods and proxy everything automatically, and it will just be focused on that, just orchestrating and proxying. So even code-wise, it will be, and from a technical perspective, it would be much simpler. Because right now, even for example, we're finding it difficult keeping up with, not keeping up, preserving what we have with the proxying, because we started doing some work on the Kubernetes executor and we had to like check if it's a proxy or not. If it's not, just not do that kind of stuff. You have to install.
Also, from the usability point, I always disagree. In order to attract customers, that they will have to spend runner minutes on the Web IDE terminal, because they will have to be caring a lot about, hey, am I opening the Web IDE? Is it still open? Can I open a new tab with a new Web IDE? And then I will be wasting 2 times runner minutes. So
yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna tell him to type in the comments he's typing. Sorry.
Okay.
Apparently wants a very specific version of Bundler, not the newest one. No.
Now you need to install those 2 tools, Exifit tool and Menu. You can install Menu with brew by typing in this command.
Oh, I need stable. Oh well.
Oh no, that works. It works then.
And then what about
XCF tool? I have no clue what it is.
Hey, it's in Homebrew. Call it good. Or I just installed something totally different, but that's right. Hey, we did it.
Okay, cancel it, press Ctrl C. And now if you go, there is rm gitlab config.yaml and make config.yaml. It gives you the command there in the first warning that you see on the top of the screen. Warning, the changes have not been applied. To apply this, no, the one on top of it. That one. And now run a GTK reconfigure. So we make sure we configure everything.
This would be a very interesting video of watching someone update their GDK. Yeah, I don't know what to do with the web terminal. Like, I don't know that it's the right thing. And I know we ran into all the issues with like what we wanted to get to. I just wondered how we rethink about those things. Linting being the most powerful thing that I think we want, which is like challenging to solve.
Do you think only linting?
I mean, I think for the types of things people are going to do, I think linting is very valuable. I think being able to I don't know, like debug is interesting. I just don't know that anyone's.
No, I think I was thinking about code completion as well. I mean, having a code server, a language server that can help with that.
I think we can do. Well, so I don't know. So Monaco already does code completion, but for like JavaScript and stuff, because like it has like the function libraries for some of that stuff already. So like I don't know how much of that we can build in Monaco without needing compute, or how much of it needs compute behind it.
I would say it depends on the language.
Yeah, we have to like look at each of those languages. I mean, that's the problem with like linting. It's like, well, we could do JavaScript linting today, but like that's not tremendously valuable to anyone except for JavaScript developers. If we really wanted to be ambitious, we should figure out how to write like linters for other languages in JavaScript. But I'm not sure that's and that would just be amazing. All right, so now I'm going to access this over my local IP, which was 156.
But still on port 3000. Give it a sec.
And then we still have to register a runner, right? So I need to, which did we, okay.
No, I don't think we registered any runner at that point. So yeah, GitLab runner register. Now HTTP, no, HTTP, not HTTPS. And port 3000.
And then how does the runner know that it's running in Minikube?
So the runner is not running in Minikube. The runner is talking to Minikube over the API.
Okay.
It can run inside of Minikube if you want to, but it would just be much simpler if you run it locally.
Come on, after 1 hour, almost, we can attach a runner to the platform.
This is the problem though. We expect like our customers to be doing this. All right. So if I refresh. Hey, I've got a runner.
Yeah, you need to do in your terminal GitLab runner run. And now if you go back to the settings, you will see that it's online. Awesome. Okay. So the runner, so what we have right now, the runner is talking to your local GTK instance over the IP address.
All right, I'm copying your default config.
That's not the default. I mean, you only need terminal and a script. I think there is another file. That's for file syncing.
Well, yeah, but we're gonna go all in.
Oh,
right?
okay. All in.
If we've got it, we may as well do the whole thing.
Okay.
All right. Now the real test.
We need to update our config TOML file a bit more.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Okay.
So
all right. What
if
else do you guys
you
do?
cancel that.
Okay.
I actually, preparing this meeting, I actually found a bug about our terminal. So we need to do the following. I'm gonna send you a command.
I love how it started the CI job down here.
So that command will print a token for you. It's a normal token on your Minikube, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to rotate it or anything like that.
Okay. What address is that? Oh, that's got to be the, okay.
The VM IP.
Yeah.
Now, if you copy that token and open up the config.toml file, so home.gitlab-runner config.toml, and under runners.kubernetes, put in this one. It's called bearer token. I'll give you the proper name so I don't have to try and spell it to you.
Did you send it to me?
I'm sending it to you now.
Okay. Anywhere in the list or?
Anywhere in the list, it does not matter.
In quotes or not in quotes?
In quotes, yes. And open it up again, please. And we need to configure our session server. So go on the top where the session server is.
Okay.
And put in listen_server equals, I bind it to the IP address, so 192.168.244.156. And then port 8080, for example, or 9090, whatever, as long as you don't have any port conflicts.
On this computer now. Okay, anything else?
I'm gonna double check. No, it should be all good now.
And then I need to start the runner again.
Yeah. It needs to be in single quotes, double quotes, sorry, my bad. Let's start the terminal. I have a feeling it's still gonna fail, but let's look why. Yep. Give me a second. Now, the reason for this is because the default permissions that the Minikube cluster assigns to your user does not have what we call pod exec. So GitLab Runner, to start a web terminal, it needs to have a special set of permissions. So it can open up a WebSocket connection between the container and your your GTK instance.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you 2 files, and then you will run them. Give me a second to find them. Yeah, there's
you haven't written for a while in the document. I think you missed a couple of steps.
It's interesting to see like how I don't know. This is like a good exercise though. This is so brutal for engineers who like work on this on a regular basis that like I can't imagine that we've got ever like had a user use this feature.
Definitely, it is brutal for us to set it up, so it's definitely not the best for users. So that's the cat of 2 files. So I have one file called role.yaml, and it has those values, and another one called role-binding.yaml, and it has those values.
Where do those files go?
So you can save them in your downloads directory or something like that, and then we will use a command called kubectl apply, and you will apply those. Basically, you're just creating roles to the runner.
I'll just do. Nope. Don't do that. What did you just download? Okay, and then so you need me to save them as 2 different files, right?
2 separate files, yes. I think you can save them as 1 file, but I haven't tested that, so I'm not going to tell you to test it yourself.
Okay.
So first, so kubectl apply -f, and it should be role-binding.yaml first. And now kubectl apply -f role.yaml. And now if you restart the terminal, it should work, hopefully. Connection failure, not good. Can you go to the where you have GitLab runner run? That doesn't seem like it started a job.
And we'll go back out and back into it. Stop that one. Should stop it first. Oh, there it goes. All right. Failed to process. Job failed. Canceled.
Yeah, canceled.
All right.
Still connection failure. Executor Kubernetes. How come it's not low? Huh. This is really weird. It should, like, at least we should log that we failed to connect. So it seems like the connection is happening on the Rails side. One way to test this is to start a job and try to use the debug button from there to see if it works. So I can give you a simple GitLab CIM file. Let me write.
Yes. All right, we'll just pick one. Perfect. That's going to fail miserably, right?
What are you doing? Yeah, empty that file and I will send you what context to write. Just write a simple job like that. So it will just leave for 5 minutes. If you refresh the page, it should give you a link to the pipeline.
This is just throwing errors.
Okay, no image specified. Ah, okay, fair enough. Open up the GitLab CI file again. Click edit. And then after line 2, for example, yeah, type in image : Alpine : 3.11 or like this. Yes, that's fine. Now, if you click on the pipeline, that's a warning. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's just saying that he did not choose a namespace, so we're going to the default one. Okay, so you do not see the debug button. Let's see if I give you 1 second. Can you cancel this, the GitLab runner run you have inside of the terminal, and open up the config file again? It's listen address, not listen server. My bad. That's why. Now, if you retry the job.
Retry this job?
Yeah, just press retry on the top left right corner. Now you have a debug button. Give it a sec. We should handle it like we do retry a few seconds, but give it a sec till it gets to sleep. Because it needs to wait for the pod to be scheduled so we can actually debug it. Yeah, click the debug button. And now, okay, now we have the web terminal working there. So if you open up the Web IDE, it should work, hopefully. I think the only thing was the listen address.
All right.
It's taking too long.
It is.
Didn't outright fail either, so maybe it's a.
But it did not say that it received a new job in the terminal either. So it doesn't seem like it scheduled a job.
Could that be because there's only,
I think
because
so,
this
yes,
job is still running?
Yeah, cancel that one, because I think you'll have concurrency set to 1. Because that's the default concurrency we set. And now try to start the Web IDE job. Give it a sec. So, because the only way we realize a job is canceled is when we try to update the job status. So give it a second. Until you see some errors about the job being canceled. Okay, now you can start.
Joining this, it just,
Yeah,
I
there we
don't know
go.
if we figured it out. Okay. Hey, we've done it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Where are my files on here? Because we just dropped me into like the top level of the container, right?
Yes, it should be under /builds.
Oh, Bill. Okay.
There we go.
It's to sleep like 5 seconds or something, right?
I never used the file syncing stuff, so I don't know how that works, to be honest.
Do I have to commit?
No.
Do you have to
haven't
save?
used it.
No.
Open up a new terminal window.
A new local?
And your local one, yes. And do kubectl cat get po. Get, GET, sorry, my bad. No, kubectl get po.
PO?
Yep, PO is short for pods. Okay, so you have 3 running. Can you do kubectl describe? Space PO for no, yeah, okay, that works. If you scroll up a bit more, it will list you all the containers that are running. So scroll up, a bit more. So okay, it pulled the Web IDE file sync there, sleep 5 and Web IDE 5. So the service is running there. I'm not sure how the web file sync stuff works, so I can't really help.
And I forgot. Can you get the list of processes running to see if the web file sync binary?
On the terminal?
Yeah, on the terminal.
In the Web IDE?
Yes, in the Web IDE.
Oh, you know, like PS. I don't know.
because I don't think it is running.
But Fran, if like Kai ran a PS on the build container.
Oh yes, it's in the main container, not the other one.
So run a kubectl exec. Okay, give me a second because we need to get the pod name and the container name. So the container name, if you scroll up a bit more.
You want the one where that's running.
SVC. So do you see next to container ID? Yes, that one. So let's save that one. And so it's kubectl -c and then svc0. And then pass in the pod name. So if you scroll up at the top. There's no, scroll up again. When we run kubectl cat po, we have runner that one.
Oh, this. Okay. Pod name first or after?
The last part. Yeah. And okay, so run that again, space sh, for example. What?
Yes, I think he's inside the machine, no?
No, should change the prompt. Oh, okay,
there you go. I just ran the PS command.
Okay, so it is running.
It is running.
Does the web file sync print some logs or something like that?
To be honest, I don't remember.
Okay, well, we're over time anyways. I think this is
enough.
Yeah, I feel like this is super eye-opening, just in general of how temperamental like the entire setup is. I couldn't imagine anyone ever getting this running. Well, maybe they get the terminal running. So maybe that's not so bad. Maybe you get the terminal running because you did your own Kubernetes install and attached it. Maybe I feel like, but that feels like a strong maybe. The file sync, I mean, I think even when it was released, because that was right around the time I started, we knew it was fairly flaky at best. I mean, we clearly in the docs document the sleep 5 as like a hack to make it work at all anyway. So, okay. That's good. I mean, I think I've learned a lot about the current state of this. I appreciate the time from both of you.
No, thanks, Steve. I didn't do anything.
Yes, thanks, Steve. And then I think, Steve, if you look at that MR, the community contribution of that MR, and we think it does the terminal stuff, will you just let us know? And then I mean, I'd be curious to like retry this with like attached Google Compute on GitLab.com with a Helm chart install. Because I think if we got the bar to there, I think people might like start using it, or it's more likely that like it's easier to use, or at least like we'll get more feedback about what works or what doesn't work. Because right now, one of my biggest problems with this like feature in general is no one uses it, so we don't know anything about it. And then like even the engineers that built it don't know anything about it because they don't use it, because which is not like a knock on either of you or any, it's just it's the reality is we don't use it. And so there's a push right now, and we've been talking about like move this to core. I'm hesitant to move it to core because I'm not sure that actually gets us anything other than a feature that's broken in core versus broken in ultimate, which neither of those is good, but it feels like a lot of effort for something that no one can use right now anyway. So. But no, I appreciate the time. I think super curious how we ended up on this path, but different conversations for a different day. So thank you to both of you, and enjoy the rest of your days. And I owe you both some drinks in Prague when we get there. So just remind me.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I
We
owe you
will.
probably more than just for this round, but we'll get Stevens off too.
Okay. Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you.
No worries, my pleasure.
See ya.
Thanks.
See you all. Have a nice
Bye.
day.
Bye.